Hi, Trail Lady here. I don't know if you're like me, but I often find myself with too little or too much in my bag when I go out for a hike. So I decided to try to really think about each thing I take and stop from any duplication. And what I've come up with is sort of a nested system in which I can decide what kind of hike I want to take and try to have exactly the right gear for that hike. So I've got three different parts to this system. The first part is probably my favorite. This is a keychain that I got from Colorado Survival Lab on Etsy. And within this little key fob, there are 10 items that I could use while I'm on my hike. And I'll go through them quickly, but I'll post a link to the site on this video too. But besides the obvious compass and paracord, on this compass and paracord on this little key fob. There's also a scalpel knife blade, some fishing line and a hook, a safety pin and a sewing needle, duct tape and electrical tape as well. So there's also, if you can believe it, inside there a Q-tip saturated with first aid ointment that you can use for first aid or for fire starting. So it's kind of a lot in that little item, and you can see that it's pretty small compared to the keys that I have there too. So fantastic little item, and I really have it with me all the time because it's got my key on it as well. The other thing I've added to that, just in case I happen to get caught out late when I stop for an impromptu hike, is a little micro light, and I can post a link for that too. But that's the first part of my system. The second part of the system is a little bit has a little bit more content to it. Basically, the biggest item is a Mylar blanket, which I just throw in case I would ever happen to get stuck somewhere overnight. And living in Wisconsin, that's always an issue in terms of cold. So the Mylar blanket is kind of a bigger space issue, but I feel more comfortable having it. In addition to that, there are a few little sort of tool items. So a single-use super glue, a sole sort of slim howler whistle, some zip ties and safety pins just in case, and then some Tinder Quick and a fire starter in case I would happen to try to stay warm again. I also have some MicroPure water tabs in case I needed to get water. Those are great, and as you can see, I've got at least a couple of little Ziploc bags that I could use to hold water. And then the rest of these items are just sort of basic first aids, so a sterile, a gauze pad, some Band-Aids, some antibiotic ointment, and then some basic medications that I might need or that might help make a bad situation at least feel a little better. Then all of these items, believe it or not, fit into this little Ziploc bag, which is about half the size of a quart size Ziploc bag. So it's, you can see sort of next to my hand, it's really easy for me to just throw into a jacket pocket or anything that I have with me. I do sometimes like to throw it into this bag, which I don't even know if you can find them anymore, but my dad had it, and it's kind of an over-the-shoulder sling bag, but it's really small. The third part of my system I usually use with this little hip bag. I like it because it lets me carry water in the side pockets, but it's also got plenty of room. So I can add the two additional systems. I just take the little Ziploc and my keychain. I can throw those right into this bag. And then I'll also add some shelter items for this particular package because this is the bag I would take if I'm going to have a quick overnight. So I've got a tarp that I can use, and then some cord that I can use to set up a tarp with some sort of handmade tent stakes. I've made them out of wire hangers, and then I've got sort of a Mylar blanket, as well as the other Mylar blanket, which I can combine to be pretty warm. Some hand warmers, and then a more significant compass, some bug and sun spray, a bigger light, a nicer knife, and then a water bag that stands up. And if I am just staying overnight, I probably won't take a lot of food, but I will take a peanut butter squeeze pack. And then I'll take some sort of clothing items too, just to keep me warm, a hat, some simple cotton gloves, and then these are sort of some gaiters made out of socks, and the bandana. So when I put them all together, I've got still a really nice system, and that doesn't take a lot of space. Now there are two additional things I carry with me all the time. One is a watch, which is just nice, and then the other one is pepper spray, just because you never know what you're going to meet on the trail, and I like to have it with me. So so there you go, all three components to the sort of nested system, and they help me be ready for whatever kind of hike I'm looking for.